News at 6 starts now.
To stray animals, whether they're dogs or cats, overpopulation can become a problem for any area. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Riley Livingston.
And I'm Cash Matlock. The Oktibbeha County Humane Society usually combats this issue by sending the extra cats and dogs to other shelters with lower volumes of animals, but sometimes even that isn't enough. Ardra Morgan is the vice president of the Oktibbeha County Humane Society. She sees hundreds of animals daily, but lately there's been more than the shelter could handle.
We just don't have the room for them. If we could, we'd take in everything that we could. When we get full like we are, we run more of a risk of disease transmission because we're in cramped quarters.
Morgan says adoptions slow down this time of year, so she and her team have to rely on foster parents to step in and take a few dogs home.
We have a lot of different resources here for other people with their animals to try to keep them in their homes instead of having to give them up.
Another solution to the overpopulation issue is setting up a puppy play date. Carly Kidd and her boyfriend scheduled a date with Sam, a black lab who's been in the shelter for 2 months now. And even though they can't adopt her themselves, they hope taking her out in public will help her find her forever family.
We actually used to have a black lab who passed away about 2.5 years ago, and we saw Sam, and she looks almost identical to the one that we lost. So we were like, hey, at least can we message them and see if we can take her out for a day? If I can get her adopted and see a post a few days or a few weeks from now saying she's adopted, then my job's done.
Morgan says that bringing more awareness to the issue is the only way to solve the problem of overpopulation.
My biggest hope is that at some point we'll put ourselves out of business, that we won't need the shelters and the rescues that we have. The only way we're going to be able to do that is with education, and it's going to take everybody in the community. Spaying and neutering, proper health care, making sure that your animals are well fed and cared for.
Well, for more information on the Oktibbeha County Humane Society and its many resources, you can visit our website at WCBI.com. And it's time now to take the first look at our forecasts with meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Hey, Trevor.
Hey Cash, plenty of showers and storms out there on the radar this afternoon. Some of them have been training basically over the same area. That's been the case in Lee County. Tupelo's been getting in on some pretty hefty storm activity for quite a while now. They've actually got a flash flood warning in effect because they've picked up about 2 inches of rain in the last hour. We've also had some hefty showers right there along the Mississippi-Alabama state line. All of this slowly drifting east, but we could have a few more showers and storms develop overnight tonight and even more storms tomorrow. I'll have that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Riley?
Thanks, Trevor. It teaches responsibility, showmanship, and good sportsmanship. WCBI's Tyler Hull has been to the Columbus Fairgrounds and has the story.
It happens around this time every year. That's when the Lowndes County 4-H Club holds its annual livestock show. It is open to people from different counties, and Lowndes County agricultural agent Reed Niven says the event is now bigger than ever.
It's grown every year. This is actually our biggest show since I've been here, so in the last 7 years. So we're really excited. We had over 150 animals today come out and shown, cattle to sheep to goats to dairy goats. So it's been a really good day.
The event also brings out many competitors.
I am competing in showing the dairy goats, so we have different classes and I'm showing in some of them.
Some club members compete in more than one event during the day. Niven says that the event is a stepping stone to help get the children prepared for bigger stages. Tyler Hull, WCBI News.
They're also preparing the 4-H members for the fair in October.
Well, dozens of area runners gathered in front of the Tennessee Williams home on Main Street in Columbus this morning for the Captain Stacy Dean's Benefit 5K. Members of the Columbus Community Benefit Committee organized the run, as well as a motorcycle ride, a catfish dinner lunch, and a mini concert series throughout the rest of the day to help Officer Deans. Now, organizers say it's important for the community to come together and to give back.
Markers, arrows, all around.
Was the place to be this weekend if you were looking for fun, food, and games. WCBI's Chad Groening has more.
This is the 26th year the Bodog Festival has been held in downtown Pontotoc to honor the fact that Pontotoc is the site of the oldest Bodog tree in Mississippi. It is a very important event for the city.
I believe it brings in culture, music, arts, it brings the crafts, and it brings in families. And we're all about entertaining kids and families here. We really like to tout our town as being one of the cleanest and nicest towns, the friendliest people. And this is one way for us to do that. And also that we might entice people that might consider moving to Pontotoc, Mississippi. And it's a beautiful place to live.
And Harris says with companies like Ashley Furniture and Toyota in the area, it is a short commute to work.
Hey, absolutely. Pontotoc is rich as far as our economy. We have one of the largest furniture manufacturers in the world located right here in our town. Also, like you mentioned, we have everything from Winchester to Toyota, so many second-tier suppliers. The town is actually booming.
And one of the attractions at this year's Bodog Festival is the Pontotoc Electric Power Association Historical Museum, which chronicles the nearly 85-year history of the rural electric co-op.
Pontotoc Electric Power Association is the second oldest rural electric cooperative in the United States. Alcorn County at Corinth is the first, Prentiss County at Booneville is the third. We wanted to preserve items that we had from our existence because right now there's more than 935 electric power associations or electric cooperatives in the United States. And we had items that were not useful to us anymore, but they were too sentimental to throw away and represented part of our history.
And Howell wants visitors to understand that years ago, life wasn't as easy as it is now.
Of course, our people still do hard work, but we have mechanized equipment. We have hydraulic trucks that have tools on them that dig the holes for us. We have, years ago, a lot of the holes had to be dug by hand and poles set by hand, and machinery has eliminated a lot of that and made it a lot safer. But we just like to show people what life was like for our employees years ago.
And the museum even has this vintage 1960s era Coke machine where you could buy a bottle for 10 cents. Chad Groening, WCBI News, Pontotoc.
Howell says while the Pontotoc Electric Association Museum does not have regular hours, you can call and schedule a tour of the facility.
An area railroad track has received a huge honor. More on that coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Have you ever thought about pursuing a career in the U.S. military? Well, apparently scores of North Mississippi students are considering that career path. More than 200 people turned out for 1st Congressional District Congressman Trent Kelly's annual Academy Day to talk one-on-one with representatives from the Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine academies, along with Mississippi State University and University of Mississippi ROTC personnel. Congressman Kelly, a Mississippi Army National Guard Brigadier General, offered advice to those in attendance about the importance of serving America in the U.S. Armed Forces.
And I feel like the Army is the best branch for me as far as leadership and opportunities.
Well, our kids need to know what opportunities are available to them, and too many times in the state of Mississippi they just don't know. This opportunity to come and interact with folks who are with the different service academies just gives them an opportunity to see what an elite education could look like, and more importantly, what they need to do to qualify for that elite education.
I've always been interested in serving for our country, and I've been to the Naval Academy a couple times for soccer camps, and I just love the campus, love the atmosphere, and just love that, that way of going through that.
For more information about Service Academy nominations, visit trentkelly.house.gov.
Plenty of showers and storms on the radar right now, and more could be starting early next week. But I do have some good news in that 7-day forecast. You won't want to miss it. Coming up right after this.
Here's your WCBI First Alert weather forecast.
Plenty of showers and storms across the area this afternoon. Tupelo's been getting plenty of shower and storm activity. They're at 76 right now. The Air Force Base reporting clear, but there are showers around the area. They're also at 76. We're 81 up in Memphis and a little warmer down in Jackson, 89 with a heat index of 95. So we're feeling a little bit cooler thanks to the rain. But like I said, there's plenty of it on radar. Here's a look across the area over the last hour or so. As you can see, Everybody's seeing rain, but there are definitely some spotty showers and storms. Most of them have been up there in Lee County, northern Monroe County. Lots of people getting in on action up there, and they actually need some rain. They're a little low on rainfall for the month, so they can definitely take it. We might not take the thunderstorm activity, but they could definitely use some of the rain. Here's some of that light rain coming through portions of Lamar County earlier. Notice we had a quick little line of storms go through Pickens County, and most of the activity still staying up to the north of that, though. This is a closer look up toward Tupelo. They've got a flash flood warning in effect. They've picked up about 3 inches of rain in the last 3 hours or so. And notice how this activity isn't moving much. It's kind of sitting over the same areas. So these are some areas, Amory, Tupelo, down towards Shannon and Verona. We'll have to keep a close eye on these because these could be some of these areas that get into flash flooding problems. Here's a look at the 6-hour rainfall estimate. Notice Tupelo coming in at about 2.5 inches, portions of Lamar County over near Vernon, possibly seeing upwards of 3 inches. Columbus has gotten about 1 inch, and then areas down to the south, Louisville coming in at about 1.5 inches as well. But some areas off to the west along I-55 haven't seen any, not much in the way of rainfall for today. Showers and thunderstorms are going to remain possible overnight tonight, even through the midnight hours. 72 for our low. If you're going to be out and about tonight, definitely keep that in mind. And then basically a repeat of today for tomorrow. Showers and storms possible all through the day. Best shot's going to be anywhere from noon onward until 7 p.m., possibly even into the overnight hours. Here's a look at Futurecast. You can see any time around 10 o'clock, still seeing some activity on the radar. This isn't going to die out much as we get into the evening hours. And then that does start to die out maybe around the early morning hours of Sunday, 4, 5, 6 a.m. We should start to see dry conditions. Apart from a shower or two in the morning hours, most everybody going to be dry. But check this out. Tomorrow afternoon, more widespread showers and storms. So an indoor plan kind of day. Definitely want to head to the movies or the bowling alley if you can. Don't want to plan any outdoor activity, and then that shower activity is going to last all the way into early Monday morning, when we have some more chances for a few showers and storms, but those too should die out as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. This is a look at the rainfall potential for the next few days. Not everybody going to see these exact amounts, but this is just to show you there's a good chance that everybody is going to see at least some rain as we go for the next few days. Now take a look at this AccuWeather 7-day forecast. We've got good news and bad news. I'm going to start with the bad news. Showers and thunderstorms for the next few days. Keep that umbrella handy, but we're going to have a cold front come through Wednesday. That's going to bring in high pressure and keep us dry and sunny Thursday, Friday, and possibly even into the weekend. We'll keep our fingers crossed for a good weekend next weekend. Looks good right now. Temperatures in the 80s with possibly lower humidity. Cash?
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, Mississippi's longest rail trail gets a huge honor for its cultural and economic impact. WCBI's Allie Martin has more on the Tanglefoot Trail and how it benefits communities and businesses along the route.
Remarks to make. The Washington, D.C.-based group known as Rails to Trails Conservancy asked the public to vote on this year's inductee for the Rail Trail Hall of Fame. The Tanglefoot Trail won by a landslide.
Tanglefoot ended up winning more than 50% of the votes. 26,000 votes submitted, so that was pretty impressive.
Amy Kopp is with Rails to Trails Conservancy, the nation's largest trails organization. She made the trip to Pontotoc for the ceremony and says getting the Hall of Fame designation puts the Tanglefoot Trail in a unique class.
Kind of says the entire community or communities that came together, they made this trail accessible for people. They made it an amazing experience for people. To be a Hall of Fame trail sort of says you are the gold standard. You are the gold standard for trails in America.
The Tanglefoot Trail opened 6 years ago and is built along a 44-mile abandoned railroad corridor from New Albany to Houston. The trail is used by bikers, walkers, joggers, and nature lovers. And while it helps promote healthy lifestyles, the trail also boosts local economies.
It gives us a platform to showcase our town, our merchants, our restaurants, and we're excited to have the trail here. It's opened up a whole new park system connected to our downtown.
The Algoma store is a great example of a local business that's felt a positive impact from the Tanglefoot Trail. The trail has brought in customers from all 50 states and 6 foreign countries.
If it wasn't for this trail, a lot of these people wouldn't know where Algoma or Pontotoc or New Albany or Houston was if it wasn't for this trail, you know, because the trail brings me a good bit of business. And that's what I told somebody here a while back, if it's 100,000 people come down this trail a day and I didn't get but one of them, but that's one customer I wouldn't have had if it wouldn't have been for this trail.
More than a dozen new businesses have started along the trail since it opened in 2013. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Well, the Tanglefoot Trail joins 32 previous Hall of Fame winners in the Rails to Trails Conservancy. And JUCO teams continue to prepare for their first Thursday night matchups. More on the Tigers and the Indians next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
JUCO football gets back to the gridiron on August 29th. ICC head coach Sean Cannon always sets the expectations high for his squad at ICC. The freshman standards are no different, even as they make the adjustments to playing at the higher level.
Not getting any nervous. As a young unit, you know, you're coming from high school where you're stepping down, making a down block, and you know that's really all you have to do. Now there's more technique to it. He always harps on if you're not blocking a guy, if a guy misses a block in college, you know, that's usually the guy that's going to make the play, and that's what happens.
I really got in the weight room. I'd never been through one, you know, in high school. Played other sports, so I really wanted to get in the weight room, and I can feel my arms probably a little bit stronger than it has been, and so that, and then footwork, you know, just becoming more accurate with the football.
ICC is not the only team getting ready. MCC is getting ready for game number 1 of the season as well. Right now, the Tigers are feeling really good. The offseason has allowed the new team to bond, and the Tigers are hoping that they can translate that onto the field for the team's first matchup. High school football kicked off Friday evening. Unfortunately, the first night did not come without any injuries. Okolona sophomore Nehemiah Jones was injured in the Chieftains matchup to Aberdeen. Some good news today. Coach Harvey informed WCBI that Jones is talking and walking. There is currently no timeline for when and if Jones will return for this season. Friday, Mississippi State was hit with NCAA sanctions due to academic violations. MSU football and men's basketball have been placed on probation after a tutor committed academic misconduct by completing assignments and exams for 11 athletes. Here are some of the details of that probation. Football and men's basketball have been placed on a 3-year probation. It's a total of 11 players between both programs, 10 of those being on the football team. Those football players are facing what is going to be an 8-game suspension. They have yet to be named. It's a loss of 2 scholarships for football in each of the 2020 and 2021 seasons. Men's basketball also losing 1 scholarship for the 2020 season. Also, it's going to hurt the recruiting process, fines and losses in unofficial recruiting visits. Talking about those fines, it's a $5,000 fine from Mississippi State Athletics, as well as 1% of each of the program's budgets. So really knocking them on the money there, along with those unofficial recruiting visits. For more statements from Athletic Director John Cohen and the link to the full NCAA press release, you can go to our website at WCBI.com. One day after Mississippi State head coach Joe Moorhead announced that Penn State grad transfer Tommy Stevens will start at quarterback for the Bulldogs, junior quarterback Keaton Thompson entered into the NCAA transfer portal. Originally recruited by Dan Mullen, Thompson served as the backup QB to former QB Nick Fitzgerald for the past 2 seasons. He began the competition for the starting slot with Stevens this summer. And over the past 2 seasons, Thompson started in those 2 games, one of those being the Egg Bowl after Nick Fitzgerald went down with that awful injury. He completed 47.6% of his passes for 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in both of those games played. And an update on former Ole Miss wide receiver DK Metcalf. After sustaining a knee injury before the Seahawks preseason matchup to Minnesota, Metcalf underwent surgery on Tuesday. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll is saying how they really wanted them to be able to get him back on the field as soon as possible in hopes of getting to that first opening game. Well, it seems like everything went according to plan. Head coach Pete Carroll said the rookie receiver will be active next week. Now, whether that's in practice or what he's actually going to be doing has not been said yet. Carroll also saying that Metcalf's knee has no swelling. The Seahawks open the season against Cincinnati on September 8th. That's it for sports. We'll have the last look at your weather when we come back after the break. Stay with us.
Showers and storms can remain possible, especially tomorrow and into Monday, so keep that umbrella handy. Rain chances slowly dwindle down, and then take a look at that. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, possibly even into Sunday, sunny skies, lower temperatures, and lower humidity, so we can look forward to that.
That sounds amazing. The lower humidity.
Honestly,
lower humidity is the
keyword. Lower humidity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All I'm looking for.
That mugginess is ready. I'm ready for it to go.
My hair says thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, we hope everyone has a great night, and we'll see you back here at 10.
You're watching